Many people don't know about the diversity of the medium of printmaking, if they know about it at all. Think about an art style or an artist that you know of. Was that artist a printmaker? Was that art style printmaking? Probably not. I've consulted various books, my own printmaking professor, and my own first-hand knowledge to compile information on this subject. There are many different techniques and processes that one can use to create different types of prints. I will be going over 3 today: relief, intaglio, collagraph, and monotype, the last 2 falling into the same category. First off, we have relief. Relief is a printmaking technique. Within this type of printing, the artist carves away the part of the image that they want to be white, leaving raised areas in relief to be inked and printed. A first type of specific kind of relief printing is woodcuts. Woodcuts are made by taking a block of wood, sanding it down, carving into it, and then applying ink to the surface, putting your block on the press, adding your paper, and rolling the block onto the press. The result is a print that is a relief print, and it has a slight wood grain in it due to the natural texture of the wood. A very prolific and admirable relief woodcut artist is Sol Lewitt. Another specific type of relief prints are linoleum prints, also known as linocuts. Linocuts process is almost exactly the same as woodcuts, although they're made of a different block. Woodcuts are made of wood, linocuts are made of linoleum. Linoleum tends to be a little easier to carve and therefore an easy step into printmaking. That is one of the many types of printmaking. I will go through the steps of another. Intaglio is another type of printmaking process that is actually the opposite of the relief process, where the ink is found in the grooves of the block instead of on the surface. Copper etching is a specific type of intaglio process. In copper etching, the artist takes their copper block and applies a ground to it. A ground is an acid-proof barrier between the block and the acid that it will be later dipped into. Then the artist takes an etching needle, which is a steel rod with a sharp point, and scratches their design into the ground. Then the block is dipped into an acid solution, and the acid eats away where the line work is. Then the artist takes out the block and neutralizes the solution. Then the block is put back on the table, ink is pressed into the lines, then the artist soaks the paper to make it more pliable, applies the paper to the top of the block, and is rolled under a high pressure press to soak up all of the ink that is in those lines. A plexiglass dry point is similar to copper etching, but there is no acid involved. Simply, the artist takes a plexiglass sheet, scratches into it, applies the ink into the lines, wipes the ink off the surface, soaks their paper, applies it to the block, and rolls it under the high pressure press. Louise Bourgeois is a very, very prolific and very admirable plexiglass dry point artist. The third process I will be going over with you is collagraph and monotype printing. These types of printmaking processes are a more fluid type of process that utilizes aspects of both relief and intaglio. In collagraph printing, texture is highly involved. Different fabrics and different papers are applied to a plexiglass plate to serve as a back, and the paper is soaked, so when you roll it under a high pressure, the paper picks up all of the texture onto itself. Monotype printing is very similar to collagraph in that you can add different pieces of paper, different elements to design, you can paint on your block, you can draw on it, but monotype prints are one of a kind. They cannot be additioned, which is a series of prints, and they are, therefore, if the craftsmanship is very great, they are very, very valuable. Now you know some basic techniques and processes of printmaking. My professor talked about the diversity of this medium recently, and how, even in its diversity, the medium lends itself to be utilized and creative together. With different techniques and processes, such as intaglio, relief, collagraph, and monotype, you can create unity in your artwork. Printmaking is an amazingly versatile and adaptive medium that many artists and people enjoy working within. And now, maybe you will. Thank you.